Hello, I'm Mike Barry.
And I'm Bob Bluffield.
And together on a Friday morning between 8 and 10 here on Seclo Sounds, we bring you
Pop and Rock Legends.
This is where we take an in-depth look at a pop star and let you know all about them. 8 o'clock through till 10 o'clock on a Friday morning here on Seclo Sounds.
Hit it, Steve.
Okay, there's Hank Marvin.
I remember that the album cover at home, and I used to go and dust the house, hoover the house, I'd put the shadows on. Yeah, happy days.
Okay, that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to leave that one well alone. So yes, tune in. Tune in tomorrow for the Rock and Pop Legends show. Mike Barry, who I've known for many years, he's always entertaining. So do tune in and have a listen. We were talking about what we're going to do in terms of the series. There are a number of things that we're going to cover. So we've talked about doing addictions. We've talked about doing something about young people. Really interesting. The comment, Catherine, from you in terms of young people. We've got a 16% increase in young people being hospitalised as a result of self-harm. Yeah. And yet we as Mind have just done some research into what support there is, not just for young people, but for people more generally who self-harm across Milton Keynes, Bedfordshire and Luton. There's really very, very little. I think Series 2 maybe, we talked to Lorna and Carolina from Surface, who were busy trying to set up an organisation in Milton Keynes to support people who were affected by self-harm. That's now up and running, and they've linked in with another organisation called Candlespark. So
through all the help from you guys, I'm here.
What
from Mind? Yeah?
Well, Mind have supported them.
I
sit on their board of trustees because that's kind of what I do, Chris.
Yeah,
innit? The other things are things like we've got the Centre for Integrated Living in Milton Keynes who do some positive work around pan disabilities and whether or not there's something that we can do around the links between physical and mental health. People with long-term conditions are far more likely to experience mental ill health than those without, and that can be diabetes, COPD, heart disease. All of those things have an impact on your mental health and well-being. Young people's mental health more generally, I think there's a lot of push for us to do that, because I think that everybody knows that actually if we get people there when they're young and give them the support and help and treatment that they need, it prevents lifetime mental illness.
Absolutely, and it saves the NHS a fortune in later years.
Hallelujah, well said.
And crime rates go down.
Yeah. Long-term view.
Effect,
It's a view that's longer than 4 years.
No, but that really is sort of nipping it in the bud, catching it young.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Something like, I'm statistics boy tonight, aren't I? Something like 60% of lifetime mental illness, say people who have got mental illness for their life, is there by the age of 14. By the age of 14. Yeah. So why aren't we throwing services, throwing support, throwing resources below that age group, so that actually, we're in a position where rather than people having that lifetime of suffering, that actually we give them the support and the treatment that they need, so they can have a positive, full, satisfying life, rather than a lifetime of trying to get the support they need, trying to get the help they need, all of those sorts of things. It's a challenge. The other things that have been mentioned, what support is available to family and friends of those with issues. Might be quite interesting to get somebody like Carers, Milton Keynes, on the show. That would be a useful thing to happen.
So we're generally shouting out for guests as well. If anyone's listening,
if somebody
want to get in touch with us, and
if somebody's got something they want to say, we would be more than happy to have them, as we always are. We love it when we have guests in the studio. They bring a certain je ne sais quoi, shall we say, to the proceedings, which is one of the reasons it's lovely to have you, Catherine. A new face, a new voice, a new set of ideas. There's some interesting research that Jeanette was talking about on Facebook around art making and its effect on mood, which is what Sue was talking about. You might want to talk about drugs and alcohol, so addictions again. And this is a lovely one, and I'm really tempted to go with this one. Does mental illness exist? I know. But wouldn't that be fun? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Sorry, you mentioned Giannetti. You mean Giannetti Spaghetti?
I do mean
was on the panel
Giannetti Spaghetti. Yes,
last show. Yeah.
she was indeed.
Is she okay? How is she?
She's
Hello,
absolutely
Jeanette.
fine, yeah. Jeanette may well dip in and out of the season during the series,
Right.
but has pressures on her. She's busy qualifying. She's doing a psychology degree.
Oh, wow.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And doing some really interesting stuff.
Can she do a degree about like how successful a mental health radio show can be in society?
That'd be a lovely piece of research, wouldn't it, Chris? Okay. One of the other things that came up, this is from Sue Varley, an interesting article about the use of the word recovery. Do people who have got mental health problems recover? Is recovery the right word? Some people prefer the word discovery in terms of they discover themselves again after a period of whatever.
It's that whole thing about the
Interesting
world
stuff.
needing to be black and white, isn't it? We all have a tendency sometimes to want to put everything in a box, and it's all pretty grey sometimes, isn't it? As well,
It really is.
It's weighing it up and having the resources within to be able to sort of feel all right about where it might be.
It's so
rather than-
individual as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
To each person, it's a personal thing.
Yeah, it comes to personality as well.
You
I
could
guess.
reinvent yourself for it.
Indeed,
Yeah.
yes. I think you're absolutely right. So there's all of those questions really that we can ask. What else have we got? There was some really interesting stuff around folk stories. Hated the term recovery. Prefers the phrase discovery. And PTSD was the other one that has been suggested in terms of something that we could, if we chose to, speak about, which would again be a really interesting thing, I think, in terms of what we could do to explore that subject. Anyway, time moves on. It's 8 minutes to the hour of 8 o'clock. 8 minutes to the hour of 8 o'clock. Don't you just love that? The 8 minutes to the hour of 8 o'clock.
Getting in your flow, Steve. You're doing well, mate. You're doing really well.
Yeah, slowly but surely. So we've got a song at the end, which is 4:40,
Here's your
and
song
then
sheets.
we've got an advert which is 30. So I think we need to start at 54:50. So we've got a bit of time left to chat. I do want to say thank you very much. This is the first show. We're back. Mike's doing sums now. Sorry, Mike, who's the studio manager, is here and is doing sums. You see, you reckon 40?
You're
I
working
reckon
out the
50,
time and
mate.
music.
But anyway,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah. We are absolutely working at times in the music. There you go.
You're sorting now, boys.
Well, I think we're all right. We've got to hit the news. The new automated system does it all.
Right.
So we've got to get the timings right. Chris, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Much
Likewise.
appreciated. And we'll be back same time, same place next week.
Pleasure.
Sue, thank you. Welcome back for
Thank
Series
you.
4. Catherine, your first show. How was it for you?
It's been great. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's been great.
Yes.
Okay, that was hard work.
But will you
Okay.
be back, Clive?
I will be back, yes.
Excellent
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, we will have, as we mentioned earlier, Lizzie couldn't be here tonight, but will be a regular panel member, I think. Jeanette, if she gets a chance to, may well dip in and out. Jilly, who was here last series again, she works away sometimes. She will be here sometimes. May well dip in and offer an opinion. Anybody else who's interested, I know that Jimmy McIntyre, who manages one of the other mental health services locally, is really interested in coming in and talking particularly around the idea, does mental illness exist, which is an interesting subject if we decide to go that way.
And anyone else interested in mindfulness, be on the lookout for Liz's return, because she is our
mindfulness guru. So keep in touch. You can get us at facebook.com/MYH Radio Show. You can get us on Twitter at MYH Radio Show, and don't forget to keep your eye on the Seclo Sounds website. Coming up later this evening, we've got Andrew Ackerman with his Groove Lounge at 10 o'clock. You really should tune in for that. He is an absolute genius and he plays some wonderful stuff. But for now, and from us, we will leave you with Submotion Orchestra, who I saw up in Manchester earlier this year. and they were rather lovely. So here's Always from Submotion Orchestra. We will see you same time, same place next week here on Seclo Sounds, your community radio station.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture and much more to 84,000 people every month. Plus news, views and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.